Hello everyone, peace of Christ to all. In this video we are going to answer one of the Abduls. Muslims, and I'm not insulting, I say and with a challenge that Muslims, they have a lack of intelligence, and I believe that the second you became a Muslim, even if you are born as a Muslim, you are born as a foolish man, and you are stuck with this foolishness until you decide to work hard to get out of it. But Muslims don't want to get rid of their foolishness. In our chat debate, we were talking about yesterday. We were talking about. I asked a question for the Muslims. Can you show me one person in the Quran? He is a prophet. He was killed by the Jews. And this is yesterday. Now, this Abdul here, just to show you, this is why I say Muslims, they have a lack of intelligence. Look what he said. This idiot does not even know his book. Jesus himself accused the Jews of being killed. You see, Abdul, when I say you Muslims, you have a problem, mental problem, I mean it. You idiot, Jesus himself was killed by the Jews. So we are not the one is denying that. Abdul, potato. It's you. Isn't it your God? He said that he saved Jesus from the Jews. So if the Jews always successful to kill prophets, how come he want to save Jesus? In chapter 5, verse number 70, it says that Allah, he took a covenant between him and the people of Israel, and based on that covenant, he sent them messengers, and each time they receive a messenger, either they accuse of to be a liar, or they kill. So this is not something like rarely happen. It's something random. So my challenge for the Muslims, for the Abdul, and I say that this is a big Quran failure. The Quran says that this is a book which we give it to you in details. How come this God, he could not mention to us one name? Like, this God in the Quran speak about stupid things. As an example, there's the chapter of the Nabi or Prophet, his name is Salih. Who is Salih? Nobody knows. His people, they killed the holy camel. Holy camel. Allah, he destroyed the whole city. He sent them, one verse says Allah, he sent them as a thunder. I never heard of a thunder can kill the whole city. However, Allah, he sent them a thunder in one verse, and the other verse, Allah, he made them die by cold. Alright? And this is another contradiction in the Quran. How come Allah is destroying those people, killing them all, like they vanished for killing a camel? But those Jews, they keep killing prophets, and Allah did not destroy them. So the Quran failed to tell us any details about those prophets who were they slew or killed. Same time, this is showing us that the one who made this book is not even educated, because how come you mention the name of John the Baptist, but yet you do not know he was killed? And then Abdul in a chat room, or Abdul in a YouTube, he will tell us that, you know what, are you ignorant about your Bible? John the Baptist was killed. Even your Lord, he confirmed the death of a prophet killed by the Jews. Well, this is in my book, Abdul. In my book, even Jesus himself was killed by the Jews. Where we can find the story in your Quran? When your Quran mentioned that there's 124,000 prophets being sent, look in front of you. This guy here, his name Macaroni, Mr. Macaroni, he is the smartest Muslim between ever. Like in the chat room, I said, what kind of God? He sent 124,000 prophets and 124,000 books. He said, well, it doesn't say anywhere that he sent 124,000 books. Well, you know what? If Allah did not send 124,000 books, so what the point of the 124,000 prophet? Like what they were doing? Are they teaching the word of Allah? You know, am I supposed to believe that this prophet, he was teaching just his children's, and his children's will not teach anyone, and they will not write the prophet words? Even in the Quran you have a story about Abraham. So where is Abraham version of the story? In the Quran you have a story about a prophet, his name is Salih. You know, imagine the Quran speak about Salih. Salih in the Quran. Let us go to Salih. You will laugh about this. In chapter 7 verse number 73, a prophet, his name is Salih, was sent to a nation. They are called Thamud. And those people, they said to him, we will not believe in your God Allah unless you make a rock give birth to a camel. So Salih, he told his people, okay, you know what, I am going to ask Allah to do that. And then Allah, he made the rock get pregnant, and the rock deliver the baby camel, the camel actually, which is pregnant with 10-month baby camel as they requested. And you can read the story by yourself. And then in chapter 7 verse number 77, you will see that those people, they killed this camel. I don't know why. And then Allah, he sent, in one verse it says Allah, he sent a thunder to kill them. In another verse it says Allah, he sent a very cold air and he made them freeze to death. So how come we have a story there with these details about the camel and the camel getting pregnant and the rock is given delivery and all of this in the Quran, but we cannot find the book of Salih? And how come in the Quran he mentioned that the Jews killed a lot of a prophet, but he could not mention to us one name, but he had the time to tell us about the camel? And Allah destroyed a nation for killing a camel, but Allah did not destroy the Jews for killing many prophets, as the verses in front of us saying. Well, maybe Muhammad was a liar. You know, in the Quran there's a verse, chapter 69 verse number 46 and 40, you can read it from 43, 44, 45, etc. You will see that Allah, he is saying to Muhammad, supposedly, if Muhammad is fabricating stories, certainly we are going to cut his artery. Certainly, yeah, if Muhammad is inventing any stories in our name, supposedly the one who's talking here is Allah, we should certainly seize him with the right hand, and we should certainly then cut off his artery of his heart. This is a promise of Allah. If Muhammad, he made a lie, if he is inventing stories like this story we hear about the camel thing, or the story about the flying carpet of the King Solomon, or the penis of King Solomon, and the penis of the one who looked like the King Solomon because he was having sex with all his wives non-stop, and the ring of Solomon, and the army of Solomon, which is a rank of General Chicken and General Goat and Major General Zucchini, because all animals were working for the Prophet Solomon, according to Muhammad. You can go to chapter 18 and laugh. Then we will find in the hadith that Allah, he said clearly. Let us go to the hadith. Here we go. As Allah said, if Muhammad is a liar, I'm going to cut his artery. And Muhammad, look what he said. He said to Aisha, I feel that the food I ate in Khaybar is cutting my aorta. Who's saying that? And Muhammad, he said, in the element of death. You see, this is not in a place where he was just sick. This is when he was dying. Muhammad saying, I am suffering right now in the element of death. I'm dying. And Muhammad died in this event. And according to Muhammad, he is dying because of the poison he ate in Khaybar, and the one is cut it off is his aorta. So what more you want? A confirmation that I believe strongly that Muhammad, he made the fabrication verse there about if he is lying, God will cut his aorta, and he named Allah as a God. But our true God, he wanted to prove that Muhammad is a false prophet, so he made his promise come true, to give you a clear sign that Muhammad is nothing but a false man. He made a promise, if I am lying, Allah will cut my aorta, and he made a verse from the Quran saying Allah said that, as you see in front of your eyes. And then we find that Muhammad himself, he died, and he is saying, so nobody is saying like maybe it's, no, this is Muhammad saying himself, I am dying because of the poison which is cutting my aorta. So the Muslim, they want to say Muhammad is a stupid, they want to say Muhammad is wrong, they want to say Muhammad is a liar. Then if he is not sure about even what he have in his stomach, how you Muslims can be sure about anything he said? How you believe in anything he said? So there is tons of lies Muslims they cannot answer. There is a lot of a prophet they've been slaughtered by the Jews, but they cannot name one. Actually, maybe many of you do not know that even Muslims believe that Muhammad, everything was created from him. I made a video about that before, but maybe I did not mention in that video that even the prophets of God, you see, we are talking about 124,000 prophets. This guy he mentioned here, he's saying they don't have books, which is very stupid. Like, you know, why you send them if they will not deliver a message which is a book? And this is a contradict for the Quran, because the Quran says we send to every nation a messenger. To every what? To every nation a messenger. Chapter 16, verse number 36. To every nation we send a messenger. Now name for me one messenger he was sent to India. You know, India have more than 400 languages. Name for me the one Muslim prophet to India. None of the Hindus, none of the Indian heard of any Muslim prophet before. Just name one. You see, I'm not asking you to name the 124,000. I know that even your prophet, he cannot name them because he's fabricating stories. Where did he get this number from? As long every nation receive a messenger, okay, you know what? Name for me the Muslim prophet to Japan. If we assume Japan is a one nation, one language, China has many languages, many ethnic. Name for me just one prophet of Islam to China, one prophet of Islam to Europe, one prophet of Islam to Vietnam, to Sri Lanka, to Africa, to Ghana, to whatever. Name one. They cannot. And all those prophets, they have to speak the language of the people, and they have to be from the people. We never send a messenger unless he speaks the language of his people. This is what the Quran said. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِنْ رَسُولٍ إِلَّا بِلِسَانِ قَوْمِهِ. We never send a messenger, chapter 14, verse number 4. We never send a messenger unless he speaks the language of his people. Never. So Muhammad cannot be even in this case, Muhammad cannot be Muslim. They say to us, Muhammad is international messenger. Well, how does happen? If the Quran says we never send a messenger unless he speaks the language of his own people. Do Muhammad speak Hebrew? Do Muhammad speak Aramaic? Do Muhammad speak Chinese? Do Muhammad speak Japanese? Do Muhammad speak... According to Muslims, even his own language, he do not know how to write, how to read. We never sent a messenger except in the language of his own people. You see the contradiction? And yet they say to us, Muhammad is the messenger of Allah for all mankind. And when Allah he said this statement, this is in the present time, in the time of Muhammad. It's Muhammad who received the verse, which means Muhammad is included. This is not about the past. It's about the past and the present tense of Muhammad. We never send the messenger unless he speaks the language of his people. This is why actually the Quran says that we send the Quran in Arabic language, so the people in the city of Mecca or the village of Mecca, they will understand it, and whoever live around it. Chapter 6 verse number 92. This is why the book is sent in Arabic. Alright? The mother of the cities, which is supposedly, actually it doesn't say cities, it's Al-Qura, which means a village, and all around her, or around her, not around the world, around her. So this is a language, this is a book sent supposedly for the Arab who live around Mecca. Muhammad never dreamed to grow that big. Later when he conquer, he start dreaming big and making a statement about he will do and he will etc. So my question again, and this is my challenge, where and what is the names of that 124,000 prophets, and where Muhammad he got this information from? Challenge number 2, can you show me one prophet he was slaughtered or killed by the Jews mentioned in the Quran? Actually, you know what? Even in the hadith, here we go, I will make it easier for you. Show me the hadith says that a prophet, his name is etc etc, he was killed by the Jews. I want to see that. It's a shish kebab religion. Before we finish, there is something maybe you do not know. Muhammad he came to claim to be God. He did not come to claim to be a man like other people. This is why he changed his name from Qatham to the praised one. Muhammad means the praised one. He is when you say Muhammad, actually you are saying he is God. This is what his name means, the praised one. So he changed his name in order to replace Jesus. In the same time, you will see that even Muslims, they believe that from the dirt of Muhammad the prophets of God are created, not only human being. Muhammad was exist before mankind, before even Adam. And even the 124,000 prophet we are talking about here, this guy he agreed there's 124,000 prophet, yes, huh? You see it? He agree, huh? Macaroni guy, he agree. So there's 124,000 prophets, but maybe what you do not know, that all those prophets are created from the sweat of Muhammad, which mean David and Moses and Isa and all those names are coming from the dirt of Muhammad. You don't believe me? I wish I have a video in English to play it for you, but this is the Sheikh. He is going to tell the story, and those who speak Arabic from the Muslims, I challenge you to say I'm lying in the translation. I challenge you. Look what he will say. All the prophets are created from the sweat of Muhammad. Muhammad he sweat 124,000 times a drop, and from each drop a prophet was created. Listen and love.
كل الأنبياء أصلهم من رسول الله. والرواية اللي موجودة في كتب علماء الإمامية أن الرسول الأعظم سبح الله في البحور 80 ألف سنة، فلما سبح الله في تلك البحور قطر من بدن رسول الله 124 ألف نقطة من العرق، خلق الله بكل نقطة نبيا من الأنبياء.
The Prophet of Allah, he went in a trip for 80,000 years in the oceans, And Allah, and during this trip he dropped 124,000 sweat. From every drop of his sweat, Allah created the Prophet. I will post the link under the video for the one who would like to hear it in Arabic, in case you are interested.
Could you explain what you meant? The Quran is his miracle. In other words, to say that the Prophet ﷺ is not central to the Islamic teaching is wrong. To say that he was a messenger and he gave his message and that's the end of it, that is not true. Ibn Taymiyyah was once asked, can you say, had it not been for the Prophet, the world would not have been created? The same is true about human beings. Not all humans are equal. The Prophet ﷺ is the highest human being, and the Prophets, all of them are higher than normal human beings. For that reason, we have less importance than a prophet. Now, the reason that Allah created human beings, there are three reasons given in the Quran. The first is He created us to cultivate the earth. The second is He created us to inherit the earth and to leave it as a legacy for those who come after us. So we inherit it from our fathers and mothers, and we leave it as a legacy for our children. So that's a reason, istikhlaf. And then the third and most important and primary reason is we were created to know God. Now, no one knows God better than the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. And for that reason, he is the most important human being ever created, because he has fulfilled more perfectly the purpose, or more completely, he has fulfilled perfectly and more completely the purpose for which we were created, which is to know God. So from that perspective, he is central. And the centrality of the Prophet will be shown on the Day of Judgment, when all human beings will recognize the station that he was given, and Muslims believe that. So to say somehow that he was secondary, I don't accept that. And I say I don't because that's not what I was taught. The Prophet ﷺ said, Kuntu nabiyyan wa Adam bayn al-ma'i wa teen. I was a prophet and Adam was still uncreated. And that's a sound narration. So the Prophet was created before any of the other prophets. He has a relationship to Isa, which is very interesting. Isa is described as being like Adam. And the Prophet is a prophet after Adam, and yet he was created before Adam. And Isa is like Adam. And Isa was a prophet before the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet is the last prophet, and yet Isa comes after the Prophet. So it's a very interesting relationship that Isa, because it says in the Quran, the likeness of Isa is like Adam. So Isa is like Adam in relation to the Prophet ﷺ as well as in relation to his creation. Because he comes after the Prophet, and yet he's not a prophet after the Prophet. He's a prophet before the Prophet. And Adam ﷺ was a prophet before the Prophet Muhammad, and yet the Prophet was before.
So Muhammad was just a man, but he was created before Jesus, and Jesus was before Muhammad, but yet Muhammad was before Jesus. However, Jesus, he came before Muhammad, but you know what? Muhammad is still, he came before Jesus, and yet Muhammad is the last prophet, but yet Jesus was after Muhammad, because Muhammad, he came before Jesus, even if though Muhammad came after Jesus, and because so simply Muhammad came long before Adam, and because he was created before Jesus. And that will make it a very easy story to understand. And this is a relationship between Adam and Muhammad, and this is a relationship between the creation of Adam and the creation of Isa. Do you see how silly, stupid this religion? You see how much they worship this man? He is created even before Adam. This is, and they say to you, we don't worship Muhammad. Muhammad is made from light. The Prophet is made from the dirt of Muhammad. From the dirt of Muhammad. I'm so glad they did not say that the Prophet was made from the poo-poo of Muhammad, only from his sweat. With this I say thank you. Christ is Lord. Islam made for a dummy, for the dummy. You want to believe it? You must be one. Thank you very much.